What is up, everybody? It is Spaz here with Arrow Key Gaming TV, bringing you my Mastermind build for Payday 2. Before we take a look at the skill tree and the weapons to complement this build, I wanted to give you a background on the build itself, a general idea as to what we're striving for here, and we are going to do a pure Mastermind build. What I mean by that is that I did not spend any skills in any of the other trees unless it helped us be a better Mastermind. So let's take a look at what our role as a mastermind is. We have two major purposes. We need to be a mastermind. No, I'm not trying to sound redundant. No, I'm not trying to trick you. I've seen good mastermind players and I've seen poor mastermind players. The good mastermind players always display great leadership. They have great situational awareness. They are the ones in the lobby that are trying to coordinate everything between the different players that have different skill sets. And our second main function, the one that our tree reinforces the most, is we need to make sure that we're keeping people alive and that we are reviving. We need to be monitoring everybody's health at any given time, and we want to make sure that nobody gets left behind. No, I'm not trying to sound cliche. With this build, at a level 100 build, there should be no reason for anybody to not exit the mission. Nobody should be apprehended. This build is very strong in making sure that people stay up, and if they go down, they get back up right away. So that's our main role. That's the focus of this build. It's a pure mastermind build. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build itself. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the skill tree for this mastermind build. Before you do any sort of skill building and or build in general, don't do it through the game. There's two reasons why. One, you're going to waste a lot of money, and I've learned the hard way that you shouldn't respec in-game if you aren't sure what you're kind of going after. And two, the game is very vague in the menu options. Like, for example, you look at some of these things, increases stamina. Well, I mean, by how much? So there is a website. I'll link it down in the description. You guys are probably familiar with it. And I will also link my build through that website. But it lists all of the statistics for each of these skills, which is really nice because you can accurately gauge whether or not it's worth it. So I have it pulled up right here on my laptop right now so that I can read off the statistics for you and the bonuses. So let's go ahead and start and spec out the mastermind tree fully and then work our way through the other trees and the small skill sets that will complement this build. So to start, we need the medic bag, obviously, and then we ace out combat medic. And the statistics for that, the first basic skill point's not that nifty of a deal. You get a 25% damage bonus for 10 seconds after you have revived a crew member. But the aced out skill is actually pretty nice in that it gives a crew member that you revived 25% extra health. And then obviously, since we did that, we unlocked the tier bonus, which is a 20% decrease in time, interaction time with the doctor bag. So, okay, let's go ahead and ace out endurance. Increases our stamina by 100%, and then our crew's stamina by 50%, I believe. Yeah, there it is. I tried to memorize all these stats. It wasn't happening. I'm sorry. My brain isn't big enough. My head's big enough, but the brain inside obviously isn't equal to the size of my dome. Anyways, I then go ahead and ace out leadership, and this one's a good little skill to have. You and your crew's weapon recoil with pistols is reduced by 75% on the basic. That's awesome. The aced out skill gives you a 50% decrease to recoil for all weapons. Another good perk there. I ace out Dominator after that. The first one's just the basic intimidation of a non-special enemy. But when you ace it, you get a 50%. I'm sorry, not 50. What the hell am I talking? No, it is a 50% increase in the range in which you can dominate somebody. The tier bonus unlock for our second tier was 15% increase in stamina, and now we've unlocked this tier bonus, which is a 25% increase in shout distance. As I said in the intro, we have one of our abilities is persuasion and interaction with the AI, and that is one of the bonuses of that tier. So I ace out Equilibrium next. This is a very good and powerful skill. The basic gives you a 10% decrease in your pistol spread and a 50% swap speed increase, while acing it gives you 100% increase to your pistol fire rate, which is awesome to have if you find yourself in a pickle in front of a bulldozer without any primary ammo. Really nice to have that. After that, I go ahead and ace out Smooth Talker. Now, the basic point, or the basic point for this, it revolves around the pagers, right? So typically you can only answer 2 pagers without the guards being tipped off or an alarm going off. But when you go ahead and buy the basic, you get a total of 4 pagers that can be answered. And the awesome thing is when you ace this skill, let's see, it's a 15% increase to the amount of damage your teammates will do to a marked enemy. So that is really helpful if you have multiple bulldozers in a given area, tasers, and it even works for snipers, although snipers are really simple to take down. But that 15% can go a long way. I go ahead and ace it out. Next, I ace out Joker. Basic for this is, let's see. There is no, it's just, basically you can convert a non-special enemy. And then the aced version, the reason I get this is there is a 35% increase to health and a 43% increase to the damage for a converted enemy. Now, a lot of people are going to give me grief for spending that many points on this. And I think it is very similar to the sentry guns in this game. Though they may not be effective on offense, they are a very good thing to have on defense. They act as a buffer, they act as a distraction for the AI, and why not give our distraction a little bit more, let's say, armor for distracting the enemy for us. So that's why I go ahead and ace that out. Tier unlock bonus for this, we have 25% health increase and a 15% damage increase to converted enemies. So now we kind of have a semi-tank AI, and if you've played Mastermind, it's pretty comical how many times your converted friend, once foe, goes down from shots but still gets back up. So next on the list, we ace out Combat Doctor. This gives us 2 combat bags, or 2 medical bags, and then when we ace it, it gives us a total of 4 charges per bag. Really helpful for lower level lobbies, or if you are playing missions like Big Oil and you get kind of overwhelmed at the end, the greater amount of charges in a medical bag is always good. Next, I ace out Kilmer. The basic gives us a 33% increase to reload speed with our assault rifle, and the ace gives us a 50% decrease to spread, our shooting spread while moving, and also allows us to finally reload our weapon while sprinting. I can't tell you how many times I have started the reload animation and then approached another enemy thinking I had ammunition. Nope, no such luck, and then you're starting the whole process over. So this is really nice. Allows you to stay pretty mobile. Don't have to worry about walking while reloading and things like that. Tier unlock bonus. This time we get a 67% decrease in time required to convert an enemy, which is really good. Next, I ace out Gunslinger. The stats for this one: 33% increase in our reload speed for pistols and a 25% increase in damage with our pistols. So with the pistol that I use for this build, a 25% increase just takes something that is already OP and increases its OP-ness. Wait, I'm going to rephrase that. It's OP-ness. That way it doesn't sound like one word. Next, I ace out Inspire. And the basic, obviously, is to give ourselves a faster revive speed, which this increases it by 50%. But the awesome thing is once we ace this, we can shout revive our teammates. Now, a lot of people give me grief about this one as well. There's a lot of issues revolving around this skill, primarily because the game does not set a priority for shout revives right now. Let's say, for example, your teammate is surrounded by enemies and you're trying to shout revive him. Well, it's trying to basically intimidate the enemies surrounding him rather than revive him. It is something that I'm almost certain Overkill will look into and fix. Regardless if it's a little wonky now, it still works effective enough to make it worthwhile. I've done it on Bank Heist. I've done it different missions where it's kind of nice. I can stay behind cover and just go ahead and shout revive people. And then I go ahead, and the tier bonus for this one, it says we get a 3 times multiplier to intimidation and a 50% decrease in asset cost, which I will get to kind of point out something in a second about that asset cost. I max out, ace out, Pistol Messiah. The basic, obviously, only gives us 1 charge when we go down. The Pistol Messiah skill is for when we go down, we can shoot somebody with our pistol and automatically revive ourselves without having to be a burden on our teammates. And I ace it because it gives us 3 charges instead of 1. Now, a lot of people would say that's unnecessary, but it's very dependent on a couple things. One, how aggressive of a mastermind you are. If you are aggressive, an aggressive player in general, or if you try to heal people aggressively, i.e. you do not clear the area prior to trying to revive somebody, you might want to ace this out. If you are kind of a, less aggressive player, you may want to spend those 8 points elsewhere. But for me, my play style, I like putting those 8 points in there. There is a piece of gameplay footage where I played in a lobby and went down 3 times within, probably a minute. I'll have to double check. It'll be in this video. But I was in a lobby. Everybody just kind of abandoned me. And I had to use all 3 of my charges. So I've justified my expenditure. Okay, about the asset costs. I don't do anything with the black market. I don't find it necessary. Money becomes frivolous at a certain point in this game. I don't need to reduce my asset costs. I don't even bother with Stockholm Syndrome just because I have aced out Pistol Messiah. So hopefully I am able to kill somebody and I won't have to rely on civilians to revive me. Control Freak, I've played around with it. I just didn't see the point in spending 12 skill points in this. One thing I'm going to point out before I talk about some other skills, today they released Update 11 where if you were to have Inside Man aced out, you can access a escape driver asset to where you do not have to do any escape missions anymore on the single day missions like Ukrainian Job, Bank Heist, whatever it might be. Winged and I learned the hard way that this does not apply to Firestarter or Rats. Obviously, there's a reason why. They don't want people farming 180 to 200,000 XP every round without having some sort of snag along the way. Okay, now, let's go ahead and take a peek at Technician first. Obviously, I need some trip mines. But what I invest in next is I ace out Nerves of Steel. Now, people are going to say, why are you acing out Nerves of Steel? Obviously, you take a little bit less damage when you interact with things. That's great and all. 50% decrease taking damage when interacting with things. But why the Steel Sight? And the reason I do this is because it goes right in line with Pistol Messiah. If I go down, I now have a steel sight on my pistol to give me greater accuracy and efficiency for killing an enemy, allowing me to revive myself faster and more efficiently. That's why I do that. Also in this tree, I obviously by the basic of sharpshooter. If you haven't watched my in-depth analysis of the sharpshooter skill, do. It is a very important skill. It reduces our spread on single shot weapons by 50%, and since we are in the Mastermind tree and it has a strong emphasis on pistols, we want to go ahead and complement that. For example, we have the 50% decrease in spread with the sharpshooter skill, and if we run that right alongside our equilibrium skill, guess what? That gives us a 10% decrease in pistol spread. That's a total of a 60% decrease in spread for our pistols. That's a no-brainer to me that I want to go ahead and have that. Now, why I also go ahead and ace this, that gives me a 25% decrease in our assault rifle recoil, which if you're playing Mastermind, you do want to run an assault rifle pistol type build, and it is also further complemented by some of the other skills in the Mastermind tree as far as reducing recoil. Now we're done with Technician. We want to go ahead and go over to Ghost, and I go ahead and purchase the ECM jammer, obviously, and then we increase our sprint speed. Now, these final points, okay, this is where you have to make a little bit of a decision. I always, no matter what build I use, I always get the transporter skill maxed out. I don't like being that person in the lobby that can only kick a bag 5 feet, especially when you have to chain throw stuff. I want to be able to move bags faster and throw them further. It really just helps out the team overall. I always ace that out. Now here's where you have to make a decision. I went with fast hands for my final 3 points. It allows me to interact with loot bags faster, so I can pack and interact with them faster. But the thing is about this build, there's not a lot. It's not a very tanky build. So if you find yourself having difficulties staying alive, you may want to spend the final 4 points into the Enforcer tree here, acing out Die Hard, which would give you a 15% decrease in time prior to your armor regenerating, with a tier bonus of a 10% increase in health. A little bit tankier. You can play around with it. It's not going to cost you much to respec the Ghost and Enforcer tree. I personally have no issues surviving with the aced Pistol Messiah, so I enjoy being able to interact with loot bags faster, but it's one of those personal preference things. If you find yourself going down a lot with this build, go ahead and throw it in here, see if that helps you out any. Anyways, guys, that's the gist of this build. If you have any questions about it, or if you have any tweaks and or comments or suggestions, let me know. I don't like thinking that one build is, the build. This isn't the ultimate build for anything. It is a build that complements my style of gaming as a Mastermind. I'm sure there are a ton of other great builds out there. This is how I play Mastermind. For me, it's been very effective. So that's the basic build. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our loadout. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the loadout that I use for this build. The primary weapon that I select is an assault rifle. I've been using the AK-762 just because I just wanted to play around with it, but any assault rifle will do. A lot of people ask me, what's the best assault rifle? I can't answer that. Primarily, a lot of it has to do with what attachments do you have, how well are you performing headshots, etc. A lot of it just comes with experimentation. There will be more videos where I will take a better in-depth look at a lot of these guns and perhaps make some suggestions. But for right now, I mean, you're good with any type of assault rifle that you feel you are accurate with, that you feel you are not going to run out of ammo with. And I've been using this, just kind of playing around with the 762. So that's the assault rifle I use. It gets a few buffs from our build. So that's why we use it as a primary. And then our secondary is our lovely and beautiful Bronco 44 with the different skills that boost and buff our pistol accuracy and damage, the Bronco 44 is my choice of weapon, but you are more than welcome to use a deagle as well. Those are the two that I would use for this build. So those are the weapons. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some gameplay of this build. Alright guys, let's take a look at some of the video clips here. This one is the one I was referring to where my teammates kind of abandoned me on Firestarter, and I had to use all three of my charges with Pistol Messiah. You can see once I get down to this second time here, I'm still able to use Pistol Messiah, but also it's complemented with Nerves of Steel. I can aim down the sight of my Bronco 44 and aim more accurately to get a shot so that I can revive myself. And then I get down to third time. Right here, nobody was checking our 6 this entire round. There was an enemy behind us. That's fine. I can go ahead and take him out too, revive myself, and actually put down a med pack to patch up and prevent that from happening again. This next clip I wanted to show you is just how effective the Bronco 44 is. You saw how fast I took down those enemies right there, and then the really cool shot comes as I turn back around and go down the street that I originally came from, and just look how far away I am as I take down this cop. 2 shots on point, no problem. It's an awesome build for the Bronco 44. This next one, I noticed that there is a ton of enemies in this room, and my teammate goes down in the corner, and I'm able to shout revive him without having to get in the way of any enemy fire and clear out this room with him, rather than having to prone or go crouch next to him and revive. Same thing with this. I'm able to revive this guy through a wall, turn that corner, and take down one shield and then a second one here, and I would have had a nice little trifecta. I almost converted this guy right here and would have if my teammate hadn't had shot him in the head right there. Oh well, I will get this guy right here. And I wanted to show this to you because occasionally this will happen. As soon as you're about to convert somebody, sometimes they will crawl back and forth, and you still have a prompt if you hold your use key to convert him, but it takes a few seconds for him to fully stop and put his hands behind his head. This clip right here is really cool because I'm able to take down a bulldozer in 2 cycles of ammunition with the Bronco 44 after I revive my friend around the corner. The skill that enables me to do that is the equilibrium skill, and I was able to it was basically 100% of the effective fire rate with the Bronco 44, so I could get 12 shots off on that bulldozer and take him out really quick. This last clip here is at the end of a round. We all get into the van, and teammates start getting downed by a bulldozer, and I'm able to revive them through the van. Thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, guys, that is it for this build. If you have any recommendations or alterations you would like to see implemented in this build, put it in the comment section. Like I've said, there is no one build fits all type thing. It's really this is kind of a base to give you an idea as to how I play Mastermind. You may play it differently. You may have an idea of a build that may be more effective. Let me know. I'd like to take a look at it. Other than that, I will be releasing more builds this week. I will start focusing on Ghost and also releasing footage of stealth missions for you guys. And that's about it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe, and we will catch you in another video. Talk to you later. Kauka.